All right, wait a minute. We gotta talk about this huge iPhone 15 leak. We have yet another report from the shockingly accurate Shrimp Apple Pro. This VTuber Shrimp Apple leaker has the market cornered on iPhone 15 design stuff. Seriously. And we're gonna pay very close attention to what he says because, I don't know if you remember, he was the very first person last year to show us this, a potential design leak for the iPhone 14 way before it came out and way before anyone took this account seriously. But here it is. So whatever he's about to say goes. If he's like, hey, iPhone 15 is a chip that you put inside your butt, that's what it is. We gotta believe him. There's no other choice. This leak is so juicy. Let me tell. Oh, by the way, it's not the butt thing. It's not that. Don't worry. Shrimp made a neat little thread on Twitter where he goes into a new design element for iPhone 15 Pro. Sleek, curvy, like me, and thin bezels, along with some other general iPhone 15 stuff. He said, well, I have the result for the display design of the iPhone 15 series. All iPhone 15 series will have the same display sizes as iPhone 14 series. Pro 15 will have thinner bezels with curved edges. Display is still flat though, only the bezels is curved. His first language is not English. So that's why it is like that. Listen, we'll touch on that in a sec, but in a second tweet, Vanilla 15 will also have curved edges. So the regular models, 15 and 15 Plus, with Dynamic Island. So all the phones this year, all four, get this. Yay. Same Dynamic Island cutouts, same ceramic shield if it ain't broke, so why bother? Source don't see any difference in the camera hole, so probably no upgrade. Now, the camera hole that he's referring to is specifically the front-facing camera. He had said nothing about the back ones. And finally, this one really gives us a good picture for what we can expect. Source described the iPhone 15 Pro Max, aka Ultra, is very beautiful. With the thinner bezels and curved edges could create the same effect like on Apple Watch. Like on that? He also tweeted, all I can say is that iPhone 15 now looks more Android than ever. So, you know, whatever that means, I guess. The iPhone 15 is gonna look like an Android phone. Wouldn't be the first time Apple took a little something. In my professional opinion, I would say this looks like Apple is doing the same thing they did with the MacBooks. How they released MacBook Pro with a new design, then later came out the M2 MacBook Air that was very similar to that design, just sort of joining the design languages like a nice family tree where everybody is related. The iPhone, according to this leak, is getting a similar design to the current Apple Watch. Those sleek, curvy bezels that disappear into the side of the case. Still a flat, easy-to-produce display, but that same design language linking the Apple Watch even more to the iPhone. Kind of going back to this. This is the iPhone XS, and boy did I take this for granted when it came out. This feels so good in my hand. Listen, I like the flat look on the iPhones. It looks great, but holding it is like the equivalent of like when you step on a Lego brick with your feet. It's like stepping on a Lego brick, but with your hands. I want this back. Curved edges. Yes. Shrimp also confirms that other rumor that we've been hearing time and time again that we briefly mentioned, and that's that the base level iPhone 15 will also be getting Dynamic Island and the new slopey bezels. This move also seeks to better unite the product line in a way that we haven't seen in a bit. Just like, could we also maybe focus on the software? Just an idea. And not to be that guy, but if you don't fix it soon, I'm going to break into the iOS engineering room and force all the engineers to take us back to iOS 6. That is not a threat. That is a promise. You know, here on FPT, we like to believe we're pretty generous. We like to spotlight companies who are relatively unknown. Small little companies you might not have heard of, like today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. No, this is not a joke. This is the actual sponsor. You know, sometimes the best parts of games for me are the big parts. Non-stop action, boss battles, and Raid is both of those things all of the time. Of course, you know who Raid Shadow Legends is, along with hundreds of millions of other players. And to kick off this lovely new year, Raid Shadow Legends has a big ol' update with tons of new features, like a new season of the Forge Pass and the Plarium Points program, where you can earn tons of in-game stuff, including a legendary champion. Speaking of champions, have you heard of Ronda Rousey? The professional wrestler MMA superstar Ronda Rousey? You can get her for free just by opening Raid for 7 days before February February 20th. New players, use our link down in the description or scan this handy little QR code right now to jump into Raid Shadow Legends with a free starter pack with all of this. To new US players, it's time to vote on your favorite starter champion. Download Raid with the links below, copy your player ID, go to championselect.plarium.com, simply enter your player ID, and then vote for your chosen champion. The vote runs from January 16th to February 10th with the opportunity to win awesome in-game and real-life prizes. I can't believe we actually did a Raid Shadow Legends ad, but thanks Raid for sponsoring this episode of Fapata. And story numero lasto, this is a small one and a sad one, but it's big. It's big sad in my heart. In one of Mark Gurman's usually depressing Power On newsletter things, he has broken the news to us that Apple is not working on a new HomePod Mini. This hurts extra a lot because Apple literally just gave us the new big HomePod again. So like, can't you just shove all that into what's basically a medium fry at McDonald's? I don't care, just give me a new one. Anyway, Mark says that after the debut of a new full-sized HomePod, many users started asking about an update to the mini model. But at this point, I don't believe... Now, you hang on. You were gonna leave the video, huh? Because you don't care about HomePod Mini? No. All right? If I have to go through this, so do you. You stay. At this point, I don't believe that Apple is actively working on such a product. The latest HomePod doesn't include any major new functions that aren't already in the $99 Mini, so there isn't an obvious reason to update the model. Sure, it would be nice to get more colors, a cheaper price, and better sound and microphones, but the real improvements probably need to be made on the back end, with Siri and app integration. You know, Mark, you don't always have to give bad news in such a harsh way, like in a way that makes me want to run head first into a school bus. You could have just been like, hey, looks like Apple's waiting to make a new HomePod Mini until they get some super cool ideas with fancy lights and not a crappy Siri. There. See? Was that so hard? And I don't want to do the school bus thing now. This whole back and forth with the exciting Apple stuff and then the really hurt my heart Apple stuff is really taking a toll on me. I'm gonna need to just relax, refresh myself by doing something completely emotionally safe and non-toxic. So I'm gonna go play Call of Duty with the mic on and let 13-year-olds yell at me. Okay, bye.